Hi, I'm AJ Hoge, the author of Effortless English. Learn to speak English like a native. Go to effortlessenglishclub.com. Join my VIP program. Join my VIP program. Join today at effortlessenglishclub.com. That is effortlessenglishclub.com. Talking to you today on the weekend, Osaka, Japan, and it's raining because a typhoon is coming. Another typhoon. The wind will be coming soon, I guess. The last typhoon was very big. This one, I think, will be much smaller. So I think we're okay. A little bit of a political typhoon. A typhoon of censorship is coming also. Q is warning us. We are in the battle now. This coming month, October, this is a big fight in the United States. The American Cold Civil War. Big fight. Big fight. Now, this civil war is happening at all levels in the United States. So inside the American government, it's happening, right? You've got people in the government on one side, the globalist side, the one world government, the big bankers side. Lots of people in the American government on that side. And then also people on the other side who are pro-American, they are patriots, they are against that one world government, against Animal Farm in 1984. So this battle's back and forth inside the U.S. government. This battle is happening on the internet. It is happening in American society. Even within some families, you have some people who are anti-American, globalists who support them. And you have others in the same family who are patriots. So in this way, this is why some people call it a cold civil war, because in the American Civil War, the first American Civil War, this also happened. There were some families where there were especially families that lived up on the border of the North and the South, where some family members fought for the South and other family members fought for the North. Hopefully, the good guys will win this time. Civil War 2.0. Anyway, a big one's coming. And as part of this, Q is warning us. Q warned us in a new drop that Twitter and Facebook are now planning for very, very aggressive censorship. I mean, they have already been doing a lot of censorship. They censor people who support the patriot side. Twitter and Facebook are quite evil companies, and also Google with YouTube, they're censoring. My YouTube channel is partially censored. This is called shadow banning. Twitter also does this. Facebook does this a lot. Facebook has been shadow banning me for years. Shadow banning means you still have an account. You keep the account, but they don't show your information to other people so much. They limit the number of people who see your account, who see your posts. So, for example, on YouTube, I have almost 1 million subscribers. And by almost, I mean, I think it's about 800,000 or something, which is a lot. But when I do a new YouTube video, they don't notify 800,000 people. In fact, they hide my video from most subscribers. Most subscribers don't know that I have a new video because YouTube will not show them. Google hides it. That's called shadow banning. And it's the same on Facebook. Facebook, I have Effortless English Facebook page. Again, it's getting close to 1 million. But when I do a Facebook post, they will only show it to maybe 5,000 people, 6,000 people. See, that's shadow banning. So only, a tiny percent will see what I'm posting. And Twitter does this also. That's what they were doing, but now they are getting more aggressive. They're just banning and suspending and deleting lots of accounts. A lot of famous American people, for political people, probably people you don't know, but people that I know as an American who are political, they have already been blocked or censored by Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. We talked about InfoWars was a big one that they did recently. Apple also working to censor InfoWars. But it's not only InfoWars. There are many people, and they're already going after the people, the high-level people. Now they're going after kind of the medium-level people, too. So this censorship's going to get much worse. These, kind of globalist, communist, socialist, whatever you want to call them, are very much against homeschooling. They hate homeschooling. See, homeschooling gives you freedom. Homeschooling gives families freedom and power. They hate that. They want all your children locked in their schools. They want to control what your children learn, what your children think, what your children believe. So they hate homeschooling, so I'm sure I'm on this list. They also hate Q. They really, really, really hate Q followers. So now is the time. If you want to follow me on social media, if you want to continue to follow me on social media, if you want to connect with me on social media, ask me questions, make a comment, learn about my new posts, learn about my new shows, other topics. If you want to follow me on social media, you need to follow me on Gab. Because I'm already shadow banned on Facebook. I'm already shadow banned on YouTube. That is probably coming to Twitter also, or maybe I might just get totally banned. We'll see. Totally deleted. Q's warning us that it's coming, and coming very soon, like this week or next week, and the next month especially. So now's the time, guys. You really need to follow me on Gab if you want to stay connected with me. Gab.com, it's now .com, which is great. Gab is G-A-B, gab.com, and follow me, AJ Hoge. So it's gab.com/AJ Hoge. Just my name, A-J-H-O-G-E. Gab.com, AJ Hoge. Now, I'm on other services as well, other backups. I'm on BitChute. I'm on Minds and One Way, but those are kind of backups. I'm not active on those, but I am active on Gab. I'm very active on Gab. Maybe more active on Gab than Twitter now. In fact, Gab may be my number one social media right now. The last couple weeks, I have been enjoying Gab. I was slow to get back to Gab. I was kind of worried it was going to be bad again, but actually it's been very good. I've enjoyed Gab. I'm starting to post more and more on Gab. So there's a good chance I will be shadow banned or completely blocked from Facebook, possibly from YouTube and Twitter also. So follow me. You need to do it now. Now's the time. Follow me on Gab, gab.com, AJ Hoge, A-J-H-O-G-E. Now, of course, subscribing to this podcast is another great way to hear from me almost every day. I guess you're already doing that since you are listening to this. But you can help other people. You can put the link to this podcast, put it on your social media so others can find this podcast. The podcast is harder to censor. It's harder because this podcast goes to many different apps. So even if Apple tried to censor me, I'm on TuneIn, I'm on Stitcher, I'm on Podcast Addict, I'm on most of the podcast apps. So the podcast is another great way to follow me without censorship. Please put that link to my podcast. I have a page that gives links to podcast apps. It's effortlessenglishclub.com, effortlessenglishclub.com, my website, /podcasts. So effortlessenglishclub.com /podcasts with an S, podcasts. That page has a lot of links where people can find my podcast and subscribe. So please share that link also on different social media. We can help more people find this podcast. Finally, of course, you can just sign up for my email list. Join my email list, so that's always a great way to hear from me. And that's also at effortlessenglishclub.com. Just enter your email. It's the bottom of the page. The bottom of the page, there's an email form. effortlessenglishclub.com. It's free. It's my free email list. You'll get several emails and videos about my 7 rules and other ideas about learning English. So that's a great way to get some free videos, and I can contact you without censorship. My email list also at effortlessenglishclub.com. This information war is international. America is where the big fight is happening, but it's not only America. It's happening worldwide. I know, I'm hearing from Brazilians that you are also having a big fight down there in Brazil. And I'm hearing from you, and you're telling me they're using exactly the same methods that they use in America, right? They do exactly the same thing. They lie, they attack anybody who's really a patriot, really cares about your country. They will attack him, lie about him in the news, all the news doing this. You can't trust the news. It's fake news. So you have to fight the battle online. You have to fight the battle in person, telling people, talking to people. Never trust the news. But this censorship is coming to Brazil too. You know, the same thing's going to happen in Brazil with Facebook. Probably already happening. I'm sure already happening in Brazil with Facebook and Twitter. So get on Gab, Brazilians, and invite other people to also get on Gab. And I know I hear from you that I know it's happening in Europe. I read about it. In fact, in some ways, Europe is worse, especially the UK. Ugh. It's like a police state over there. They have no freedom of speech in the UK. Kind of sad. But anyway, wherever you are, get on Gab. It's our main alternative for free speech right now. We have others. We have backups. Remember, we're decentralizing. We're spreading out. We don't rely. We're not going to focus. We will not focus on just one. That's too easy for them to censor. But we have many backups. But we don't want to be confused. So right now, we'll just use one backup. If something happens to Gab, then we'll use another one. But for now, Gab, I think, is the easiest, the simplest, and the best one to use as our free speech social media. So Brazilians, I encourage you especially, get on Gab, and everyone else internationally. Gab.com. Follow me, AJ Hoge. Continuing to read several books I mentioned before. Sometimes I like to read or reread several books at the same time. I often like to mix different kinds of books. So I'm reading Convict Conditioning, which is about exercise, strength exercise specifically, body weight exercise. I'm reading the Dhammapada and the Bhagavad Gita, which are spiritual religious books. And I'm reading The Rational Male, which is, as you can guess from the title, is about men. I'll talk about another section from The Rational Male. There are 3 Rational Male books. 3 of them are excellent. Men, read these books. Young men, this will save your life. These books will save your life. Read them, young men. The Rational Male books by Rollo Tomassi. There are three of these books. The first one is called The Rational Male. The second one is called The Rational Male Preventative Medicine. The third one is called Rational Male, The Rational Male Positive Masculinity. So The Rational Male is the main title. Number 2 and number 3 have subtitles. I'm telling you, young men, especially, really all men, you must read these books. Now I'd like to talk about an important idea from, like I said, I think it's the third book. And this is the idea of a mission. That men in particular need a mission or missions in their lives. Some people use different words. You could call this your purpose. You could be more general, talk about your passions. I also like the word mission. Each of these words has a different feeling and maybe a different level, but I think they're all three are important. So let's talk about the difference first. What's the difference? And why are these so important for you to feel strong and happy and have a good life as a man? And women, your sons need this, your husbands need this, your boyfriends need this. Purpose is probably the highest level one. Or another way you can say this, you could say it's the deepest one, the most meaningful. You know, purpose is kind of the biggest meaning in your life, right? The meaning of life for you. What is the meaning of life for you? Now, this is a big question. Men and women have been asking this question for, well, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And every person, and definitely every man, must answer this question. What's the meaning of life in general? And what is the meaning of my life? What is my purpose in the world? Now, the purpose will be very general. And I recommend that you start very, 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 very general. Especially when you're young. You know, a lot of young people, they ask me, how do I find my purpose, AJ? How do I find my purpose? I'll talk about this in a second. But in the beginning, I would say, as a young man, don't make it specific. And even when you get older, purpose is something that's very general, very general. You know, for some people, for example, people who are very patriotic, maybe their purpose in life is to serve their country, serve their nation, serve their culture, their heritage. You'll notice something about that purpose. Number one, it's very general, right? It's not specific. It's very, very, very general, right? There are many, many, many ways to do that. You could serve your nation by joining the army. You could serve your nation by building a business that helps, make people happier and create jobs and all of that. There are many, many ways you can do that, and that's good. That's good. A purpose needs to be general because your life will change as you get older. Your life situation changes. So you don't want your purpose to be too specific because it's limiting. It's limiting. So the purpose needs to be general, but it also needs to be big. Big, big, big. This is not something small. This is not a hobby, okay? It should have a powerful meaning for you. Now, that's kind of, again, like the highest level, or you could say the deepest level. The next level, kind of the middle level, we might call mission or missions. And these are also, let's say these are big goals in your life. Things that are also important to you, meaningful to you, but not as huge as a mission, but more specific. Like maybe one of your missions in life is to help people be healthier or have better fitness. And for you yourself to be a healthier and more fit person. That's a great mission. That's a mission you could do for most of your life. And it would be very meaningful. And, for example, Jack LaLanne. There's a good example, Jack LaLanne. Uncle Jack, as I call him sometimes, his mission was health and fitness, to help people become healthier and more fit. And this was a personal mission for him that he focused on constantly, until he was 93, 94 years old. And it's something he tried to help lots of other people with also. That was one of his life missions. Now, he might have had other missions. He also had a business, for example. He started his own business. He was an entrepreneur. So financial freedom probably was one of his life missions. Maybe financial freedom for his whole family. He was a father. One of his missions might have been to be a great father, to be the leader and create a wonderful, strong, loving family. Right? So he might have had several missions. That's kind of the middle level. And then at the kind of the most surface level, or the lowest level, or the simplest level, you can just have passions. Now, these are more like hobbies. These are just things that you love. These are just things that you love to do. That's all. You don't have to be good at it, even. It's just things that you love to do, where you feel very, very happy and fulfilled and satisfied when you do them. Right? You might just be passionate about running, for example, and you just love running and doing long distance runs and doing marathons. It does not matter if you're good, right? You don't have to be a professional marathoner. It doesn't matter if you're fast, but just a passion is just something you love. You love doing it. Music, maybe one of your passions is to play the guitar. Again, you don't need to be a professional musician. You don't even need to be very good, but you just love doing it. You just love learning songs and playing the guitar. It's one of your passions. Doing this podcast is one of my passions. I love doing it. I just enjoy doing it. I have a great time doing it. So you can kind of see the different levels, right? Well, for young people, when they ask the question, how do I find my purpose, my big meaning for life? When someone who's kind of young asks me that question, well, even if someone's older, honestly, anyone asks me that question and they can't answer it, they're confused by it, probably you need to back up. You need to come down a little lower and start with your passions. Passions are a good place to start. They're more obvious. They're more shallow, right? A little more. They're not quite as meaningful, but it's a good place to start because you find great happiness and enthusiasm in your passions. Often your passions will lead you to missions. So you start with passions, just things that you love doing. Like one of my passions is traveling. Especially when I was younger, in my 20s, I was very passionate about wanting to travel and learn about the world and explore the world. So I just followed that passion. At that time in my 20s, I did not have like a life purpose. I had no idea. What is my purpose? What is my big purpose or mission in life? I had no idea. I didn't really know, but I did know I wanted to learn, I wanted to explore, I wanted to see more of the world, learn about other cultures. Now I look back, I see I was looking for truth, looking for wisdom and experience. But at the time, it just seemed like I'm passionate about traveling. It's interesting, it's exciting. So I followed that passion. Now, eventually that passion it brought me to teaching English. How? Well, I needed money. I needed money to travel. And to live in another country, teaching English was the easiest way to do it, right? If I could live in a different country and make money at the same time, that was the perfect combination, right? I could live in Japan and make money and save money and then travel even more after the job. So it was great. So my passion for travel brought me to another passion, what became a passion, which was teaching English. In the beginning, teaching English was not a passion. It was just a job, just to make money. But then over time, I enjoyed it more and more. It became more of a passion. And then it became a mission, a purpose, a little bit like a small purpose. Because I started to care about my students and I wanted to help them. And I also cared about my own ability. I don't know what you call it, but just, I had a professional desire to be good at my job. I wanted to be good at it. I got tired of not being good, right? I didn't like being a so-so teacher. I didn't like getting bad results. Just felt wrong. I wanted to improve. I wanted to help my students, and I wanted to be better, have better skill. And so those two things it changed my mindset for teaching English, and teaching English became then much bigger, became a mission for me, became a mission. Like a very high and big and important goal for me, and I began to work hard on it. Another one of my missions became, and was actually for a long time, was just freedom, right? I wanted to be free. I wanted financial freedom. So I started to work hard on that. And eventually those combined, right? Teaching English, financial freedom, my passion of traveling, they all started to come together. This just happened over time, naturally. And then as all those happened, then I began to feel an even bigger feeling of purpose and meaning to what I was doing. That not just teaching people English, but helping to bring happiness to people around the world. The things I've learned that helped me in my life, sharing that with you, as I'm doing right now. So it began to feel like, I'm contributing. I'm actually contributing to other people. This is great. I'm teaching English and I'm getting good at that. And it's great that I can travel a lot, and it's great now I'm financially free. But then I went even higher, a higher feeling of purpose, that I'm contributing. It's much bigger now. This is a very large, very deep, very meaningful purpose in my life now. You see but it grew. You can see how it was a natural process, right? So the passions are your seeds. It's like a seed, right, for a plant. You get the seeds are your passions. It can be anything. Like I said, it doesn't matter. It can be guitar. It can be for me, it was travel, writing. It doesn't really matter. But you need those in your life. So you should follow them. You should do them simply because you love doing them, because they're enjoyable. They make you happy. They give you have great enthusiasm for those activities, those passions. And as you do that, just keep your mind and your heart open, and eventually some of those passions will probably they will become missions, and they might start to combine, and then from those missions, your purpose or purposes will grow. So that's how you do it. I know for young people especially, what's my purpose? That question's too big. You can't answer it when you're, some young people can answer that. They have a strong idea quite young, but many people like me, I could not answer that question. What's my purpose? When I was 25, I couldn't answer that question. But I followed my passions very strongly, and that led me higher and higher. So men, you must do this. And women, maybe you may have your own version of this, but I can only speak from a male mindset here. And for men, this is absolutely super important. Now, what Rollo Tomassi says in his book, The Rational Male, he says this idea that men, especially men, you must have your own strong center of meaning. And it's internal. This is the important part. You have inside you a center of meaning. So this includes purpose, your missions, your passions, all of this. Again, going from highest to lowest. Now, at the very highest, I would put, religion and philosophy. Because religion and philosophy are answering the questions of, what is life about? What is life? What is death? What is the meaning of life, the purpose of life, the most important parts of life? So that's at the highest level, your religion or philosophy. If you're not religious, then you need philosophy still. So men, you absolutely must have this. This gives you such internal strength. You have this highest meaning or purpose inside of you. It doesn't come from outside. It's not from someone else telling you this. You've got to find this yourself. So you've got to explore this and look into this and live this yourself and find those answers yourself. So you answer them for yourself. And again, when you're young, maybe you probably never have the answer 100%, but you have to start to answer the question. And when you're young, you're completely unsure, you don't know, so you need to be, reading those old holy books, reading philosophy, meditating, living a philosophical life, and finding that meaning for yourself, especially as you get more and more and more life experience too. Connect the life experience as well and answer those questions yourself. So important. That's your center of power and strength in life. No one can give that to you. And then at the next level under that is your purpose, whatever that is, or your purposes. Like I mentioned, making people happier, teaching people, whatever it is. And then your missions, your big goals in life, and then your passions. All of those. Think of those all kind of on top of each other. And that's right at the center, like in your heart, in your chest, in your mind. That's your center. That's what keeps you powerful and strong and gives you strength in life as a man. Indeed, women can also do this. But especially men, you must have this. And then maybe at the very bottom, your male tribe. I talked about this, about male space. You need some kind of tribe of men. You need male friends. Or it could be your father, your sons, your brothers, your male cousins, whatever. A very important part of this internal strength is, again, the word internal, inside. It's not dependent on someone else. It is not dependent on someone else. It's inside of you. So no one can take it away from you. Recently on social media, someone, I think it was Dave maybe, that recommended Man's Search for Meaning for the book club, which is a great book, and it's on my book club list now. It's a great book. That's one of the key points of that book, is that you need that internal strength, that internal meaning. It's inside of you. No one can take it away. The man who wrote that book was in a prison, right? A camp where they were murdering and killing people during the war, World War II. And they were treated horribly, right? Some people were tortured, they were killed, they were miserable. But he talks about how some people had some kind of internal strength, and the writer was one of them. They somehow found that internal strength, that the guards, the enemies, could take away everything. They could take away their food. They could beat them. They could take away their freedom. But they could not take away their internal power, strength, and meaning. No one can take it from you. Now, men, this also means your meaning and purpose, your internal strength does not does not depend on a girl or a woman. Not on your mom, not on some girl you love, and also not on another man either, for that matter. It's inside of you. One of the big sort of sad mistakes that young men make, I certainly did this, is to have an idea. In movies will push this idea so strongly that, oh, you'll be so happy if you just get the right girl. That a girl will be the answer to your happiness. And that you should focus your life on a girl. You just find that right girl and focus your whole life on that girl. And you're just giving away your power to this girl. And then what happens? Then the girl breaks up with you, maybe, and then terrible. Oh, you feel terrible, and you cry, and your whole life falls apart. And sadly, even some people kill themselves. Even some teenagers will kill themselves about this, a breakup. Girls do it too. It's a tragedy, but it's because they didn't have the internal strength. They thought it would come from another person, but it cannot come from another person. So men, and especially young men, I would say don't focus on girls, okay? When you're, I know, you want, you're attracted to them strongly. I understand that, fine. That's understandable. It's physical, okay? But don't focus your life on girls. Okay, there's a difference, okay? You're going to be attracted to them. You want to date them. Of course. Find a girl you like, okay, great, or girls that you like. But do not base your life on them, okay? Don't make them your purpose. Don't make a girl your mission. So many young men will just forget their passions. If they find a girl, and oh, they're so in love and so crazy about this girl, and they just completely stop doing their passions. They completely stop seeing their friends. They completely forget about their missions in life. And everything gets focused, all their energy, all their attention, everything gets focused on this girl. Big mistake. Huge mistake. Don't do it. That is a way to become very, very weak and unhappy. And also, guess what? I'm going to tell you a secret. A secret the movies will not tell you. A secret maybe some girls will not tell you, but it's the truth, so I'm telling you. Girls like men who have a mission. Girls like men who have a strong purpose. Girls like men who have a strong center of meaning inside of them, who have the strength inside of them. Okay? Girls are attracted to those kinds of men. Girls don't like weak men who need them too much. That's the truth. So the girls will be more attracted to you when you have that strong center of meaning inside of you. That's at the top. That starts again with religion and philosophy and life meaning. And then under that, a purpose. And then under that, your missions. Under that, your passions. And under that, maybe your other male friends and relatives and father, son, cousins, on all of that. Okay, all of those things you must develop, and you must keep them and make them strong. That's your center. That's your central focus in life. The most important. Always, that's the most important. So especially when you're young, you're young and you don't even know your purpose yet. You're not sure about your mission. Forget about getting married. Forget about following a girl around. You need to focus on your passions, finding your missions in life, and getting a stronger feeling of purpose in your life. Those should be your number one goals. Those should be the most important things in your life. And they will always be the most important things in your life. But figuring them out first, very, very important for young men. Instead of following girls like crazy. Okay, I know you're going to follow girls. It's okay. It's physical. It's natural. You just have to have a bigger mindset, okay? Don't let that destroy your passions and your missions and finding your purpose. Now, the good news for you, young men, is that when you do finally develop this inside of you, you're going to be so much happier alone. First of all, number one, you'll be happier just alone in your own life. You'll be stronger. But even better, you'll have better relationships with girls, with women. They will be more attracted to you. And when you date them, they'll be happier with you because that's exactly what they want, a man who has a good, strong purpose and mission in life. Not a weak man who'll follow them around like a puppy. All right, if I can save just one young man with this information, I will feel very good. So good luck to you. Good luck to you. Read those books, The Rational Male books. The Rational Male by Rollo Tomassi. Speaking of books, back to the book club news. I added the final recording of Dumbing Us Down, Chapter 5. I did the live show last week, but I just added the recording of that show today. So I will give you another week. I'll give you at least one more week to listen to that recording and finish all of Dumbing Us Down. I like to take a break between books. Some people get behind. Some people need more time with each book. So no hurry. We have time. We can wait a couple weeks, and then we will start The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. The Brazilians can laugh at my pronunciation. So anyway, we'll do the Alchemist. This gives me time to finish The Alchemist also. As I said, I read it, but I read it a long time ago. I don't really remember the details of the book at all. So I'm going to read that book again. I'm finished half of it now, so I'll finish it this week. And then we'll start our new one. So finish Dumbing Us Down, listen to that recording, and then get The Alchemist, and you can start reading The Alchemist if you want to. Very good book, very, very positive book. Basically a book about following your dreams and following your passions. In fact, it's connected to hey, look at that. Kind of connected what I just talked about. Mission, purpose, passions. It's very much like that, now that I think of it. The beginning of the book, Santiago, the hero of the book. In the beginning of the book, Santiago does not have a purpose or a mission. He has a job that he likes, kind of a passion, I guess. He's a shepherd. He takes care of sheep. And it's basically a passion. He loves doing it because he's very free. He gets to travel all around the countryside in Spain. So it's one of his passions. And then as he does this, he starts to develop a mission, which is to find treasure, money, gold. And as we will see in the book, that mission, which also seems a little shallow, just make money, right? But you'll see, though, that mission will lead him to something deeper purpose. So it's that same idea, that passions, that when you're trying to figure out bigger purposes and missions in your life, that often those passions will lead you there. But again, as I said before, it's the positive passions. You must be careful. If you have a passion for doing drugs, a passion for drinking alcohol, that's not going to help you. Okay? I feel like we need to put the word good passions, healthy passions, positive passions, right passions. Those are the kind of passions that lead you to missions and purpose and meaning. Okay. Well, I will be back again tomorrow for the podcast. Enjoy today's podcast and also enjoy that recording of Dumbing Us Down. As always, join my VIP program. Learn to speak English powerfully with me. Speak English powerfully. Join my VIP program at effortlessenglishclub.com. That's effortlessenglishclub.com.